Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Not Couture or Jamila Pierre or whichever one you want to call me by. So today I've decided that I'm going to review the Morphe Brushes palettes. Got the 35B and a 35W. 35W is, yes. The 35B, I had a little bit more higher expectations. Every time I get colorful palettes, this is what I go through. I love really, really bright colors. I really, really do. In theory. But then, like, when I get them and I swatch them... No, when I get them and I swatch them, I'm still very excited about them. But then, like, when it comes to using them, for some reason I'm always just, like, in a rut. And I just don't feel as inspired by the bright colors that I have, unless they're shimmery. If they're shimmery, then I'm all over it. It goes on the lid. I know exactly what to do. But in this case, all the colors, or most of the colors, are pretty much matte. Some of them are satin. Again, this is the 35B palette. So these are the colors. They are super gorgeous. When I've seen reviews on these online, on YouTube, I'm just like, yes, everything in life that I can really get down with. If you see my blog and you see the color palette that I kind of generally dress in, you know, like, this is kind of like up my alley. I feel like the light is kind of washing it out a little bit. Maybe if I go at an angle, kind of see it better. Ooh. Ooh. Amazingness. So, I don't know. Some of these colors are hit or miss. Like, I was really, really excited about this color. Some of the swatches I saw were kind of shitty. But some of them were actually pretty good. I don't know if it was their editing or filters or whatever the case may be, but I was just like, you know what? There's so many mixed reviews on it that I just have to get it myself and see for myself. So, when you swatch it, I'm going to swatch it for you now. I mean, the color is just like freaking outstanding. Do you see that? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing it? Are you freaking seeing it? But then when you swatch it, it's like all of that pigmentation just goes to hell. Just goes away. And it makes me very, very sad. I feel like if you put a base, obviously if you put a base underneath it, like a white base, like the NYX Jumbo pencil in milk, it should probably work very well. But I don't know. I just, not that I had higher expectations, I was just hoping and praying. Anyway, I mean, but this one on the other hand, also succulent, just succulent color. This one is actually meets my expectations. It's a little bit dusty, like, I don't know if you could see like the little flaking powderiness of it. I personally don't mind. I know a lot of people are just like, I don't like the chalkiness and I don't like the fallout and all this other stuff. I mean, even with high-end eyeshadows, sometimes you get like the flakiness and the dustiness, and it depends on, you know, the formulation of it. I don't necessarily think whether it's whether or not something is a cheap brand or not, so on and so forth. I just think it's just the formulation of the eyeshadow, or maybe it's just like the pigment that they use, or, I mean, the list goes on. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Moral of the story, it's really a hit or miss with this. A lot of the colors are quite glorious. I mean, this blue, they really do knock it out of the park with their shimmery colors. I feel like shimmery colors, this yellow, shimmery colors in general are kind of, going over this, some of these colors really do stain your fingers. So more than likely they will stain your eyelids. It's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. It depends on your preference. This freaking, like, this beige, like, I don't know if you can see it. There we go. This beige color, like my skin tone, it's like a sandstone color or something, or like a sand dollar or something. I don't know. There's like a satiny. It's not exactly shimmer. It's not exactly. It's a step up from satin. It is a phenomenal, and I don't know if you could see the glory of it. It'll kind of fade away with my skin a little bit. Maybe you can kind of see it. Well, yeah. It's not exactly my skin tone, but it is super nice. And this blue, I mean, really, seriously. And the yellow too is quite supreme. I mean, their satin and their shimmers in their palettes, because I know there's this whole thing about, oh, if you get the singles are better. I'm only going over the palettes. I got a couple of the single ones. I mean, I'll do another video based on the singles that I got. It will be here all day if I do swatches of the single ones and talk about the single ones. But everybody was talking about how the single ones are just a little bit better quality. And, you know, yeah, kind of, sort of. But I feel like some of the single qualities are similar to what I guess the satin and the shimmer ones are like in these palettes. I feel like they fall short in the matte department. Some of the mattes are good, don't get me wrong. I just feel like it's hit or miss with the mattes in the palette. Make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So yeah, I think I'll go through row by row and take pictures of all the swatches of this, because going through all the swatches is just not going to freaking work here. I'll swatch some of them so that you guys can get somewhat of an idea and not feel like she brought us here for what? For what did she bring us here? Nothing. Oh God, that one's like horrendous. Horrendous, I tell you. Okay, we'll do this dark one here. We'll do, oh my God, that one's succulent. I'll do this bright orange one. I always feel like when people do swatches, I don't know if anyone's like me, but when people do swatches, I always like, in my head when I'm watching the video, I'm just like, please swatch that one. Please swatch that one. So I don't know if I'm swatching these and you guys are just like, please swatch that one. But for me, I'm just hoping and praying that someone will swatch specific ones, and I hope that I'm swatching the ones that you're curious about. So God, this one right here, I don't know if you can see it. This pink one is very upsetting. That one's this one. It's like so powdery and flaky. I do not approve. And then there's this one. Where did I get that one from? I don't even freaking remember. I'm horrible. Horrible, I tell you. Oh, this one right here. That is that. And then this succulent freaking color right here. Let me kiss the palette. Is this bad boy right there. And this orange one is this baby right here. I'm going to swatch them. Get my knuckle inside of it. Who's horrible at the swatching right now? Who? Me. Okay. So after this, I'm just going to move on to the next palette. This orange one could be better. The orange single number 30, I think. I think it's number 30. Might be number 30. I'm not entirely sure. But there's a single one, a single eyeshadow from Morphe Brushes that is an orange that is freaking phenomenal. Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. So it kind of like, this one pales in comparison to it, but it's okay. And then we have this purple one. It's just like glorious. Fucking glorious. These are all mixing in with the other colors. So though that pink one is like pretty bad swatch wise, I mean like when you pick up the product, the color is not that bad. But those are the colors there. I like them. I like them. I feel like I'm not as inspired by the palette as I thought I would be. And see, the same thing happened like when everybody was all the rage about Coastal Scents, and they had that like 88 shimmer palette with all the colors and all this other jazz. I jumped right on that. I jumped right on it because it's just like shimmer and color and it's like you think eyeshadows and you see makeup artists and you just like, you see all these eye looks and you're just like, that, I want to be that. I want that for myself. Put it on my eyelids. But the thing is that it just, unless you're a makeup artist or unless you're really that like flamboyant, it kind of isn't realistic. Like you know, and sometimes to have these elaborate looks that are awesome, you need time. And when you're going out, you know, to the store, to work, to whatever it is, either it doesn't fit the situation or you don't have time for that shit, you know what I mean? End up reaching for things that are kind of like go-to, easy, no fuss, no muss, just things that you know you can't really mess up with. And I feel like neutral colors, that's kind of the direction you go in. So colorful things, even though in theory you feel like, yeah, this is totally me, this is so what I'm going to do, you end up not doing it. So now I have this, again, another colorful palette that I may or may not end up using, but I'm going to try and force myself to do colorful looks. I tried a little bit of some color today, even though I didn't get it from that palette. I got it from this palette, which is the 35W palette. Amazing. Like, what more could you seriously want from a palette? Like, nothing. There is nothing. Honestly, it's just, you really can't mess up with this palette. This is why neutral palettes are essential. And every female who likes makeup, it's just essential. And because the best thing about this palette is the fact that it has so many different finishes, and it predominantly has the shimmer and satin finishes where the hell it belongs, and it has all the mattes where the hell it belongs, like in the colors. It has enough transitional shades, mattes in the transitional colors, and I mean, it just they have some interesting colors. You can't even see that because it's like flesh tone and I'm still stained on my fingers. Great. They have this awesome like bronze color. Oh my god, it's just like glorious. I'm gonna swatch it because glory be to the lords of eyeshadow, and this pink is just giving me life. Giving me life. You can't even see the the lighting in this camera is just not giving the pink its justice. Like all over the lids is and this bronze color, like, yes honey, yes. Oh my god. And it's like this pink one is like duochrome. It's pink, but then has gold flecks or shimmers to it. And this is the cousin. Let me get my life together here. Hold on a second. This is the cousin to the orange that I was talking about. It's another tone of orange. It's not like the true orange, but it is equally as stunning. Equally as stunning. It's like terracotta, like a burnt terracotta. Like, I feel like terracotta is more muted. I'm knocking things over already. This one is the Slow Jam. I wore it the other day. Slow Jam. Even though I have neutral colors, I swear I do not have these as finishes quality. Morphe Brushes has seriously blown thine mind out of thine waters. Like, excellent, excellent quality. I mean, I'm more excited about the swatches of these on the blog than I am about the colorful ones. The colorful ones are great, whatever. But I think that if there's any palette, this one. Because I know there's like the Jaclyn Hill palette, and though that one is amazing, and I want it, and so on and so forth, and the list goes on. And they're doing a great job of creating hype around that palette. It's great. Like, it looks like it's going to be stunning. I feel like a lot of people are going to be butthurt because they're not going to get their hands on that palette. This is a great substitute. 35 warm. And if Morphe Brushes would just really stop hurting a lot of people's souls and restock a lot of their single shadows, we can at least go to sleep at night and, you know, just go to sleep. These are the two palettes that I got. My overall review is their satin shadows and their shimmer eyeshadows top freaking notch. Palette or otherwise. Honestly, everyone's saying single shadows over palette shadows. In general, yes, but the quality of the shimmer and satin in singles and palette are kind of pretty much the same. I feel like where you see the difference as opposed to palettes and singles is in the mattes. That's where there's like more of a hit and miss. I think it's more of a hit when it comes to the singles as opposed to the palette. When it comes to the freaking 35 warm, I feel like shimmer, satin, matte, it doesn't matter. They're all a freaking hit. This whole entire palette, am I holding the right one? Yes, the whole entire palette is like freaking amazing. I feel like this one you need, if you are a neutral lover, you need this freaking palette in your life. Especially if you're like super, why is my phone ringing again? Is it that people want me to cry on camera? And if you're like Miss Travels a lot with things, this is not travel friendly. This like off topic completely, as I was saying about my whole entire tangent about this palette, the 35W. Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.